Of course, the case of Brian Walshe is a complex and gruesome one. His plea to lesser charges is a significant development that occurred just as his murder trial for the killing of his wife, Anna Walshe, was set to begin. Here is a breakdown of the situation based on court proceedings and reporting. The guilty plea to lesser charges. On Monday, May 13, 2024, Brian Walshe pleaded guilty in Norfolk Superior Court in Massachusetts to the following charges: murder in the second degree for the death of his wife, Anna Walshe. Improper conveyance of a human body. Witness intimidation. Accessory after the fact to murder. This was a surprise plea deal reached with prosecutors, avoiding a full trial. Context. The murder of Anna Walshe. To understand the significance of the plea, here's a brief recap of the case. Disappearance. Anna Walshe, a 39-year-old mother of 3 and a real estate executive, was last seen alive at her home in Cohasset, Massachusetts, in the early hours of January 1, 2023. Investigation. Brian Walshe gave inconsistent accounts of his wife's whereabouts, initially claiming she left for a work trip to Washington, D.C. However, evidence quickly mounted against him. Gruesome evidence. Prosecutors alleged that Brian Walshe killed his wife, dismembered her body with a hatchet, and disposed of the remains in trash bags at various transfer stations. Despite an extensive search, Anna's body has never been recovered. Incriminating evidence. The case against him included purchases. Surveillance video showed him buying over $450 worth of cleaning supplies, including mops, tarps, and tape. Internet searches. His internet search history included gruesome queries like, how to stop a body from decomposing, how to dismember a corpse, and, what happens to hair when a body decomposes. Forensic evidence. Blood and a hatchet with Anna's DNA were found in the basement of their home. Location data. His cell phone data placed him near the trash disposal sites. Why plead to second-degree murder? The plea to second-degree murder instead of going to trial for first-degree murder is a strategic decision with significant implications. 1. Avoids a life sentence without parole. In Massachusetts, a conviction for first-degree murder carries a mandatory sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. A second-degree murder conviction carries a life sentence with the possibility of parole after 15 to 25 years. 2. Certainty for both sides. For the prosecution, it guarantees a conviction for murder without the risk of an acquittal at trial. Even with a strong case, trials are unpredictable. The plea also spares Anna's family and friends the trauma of a lengthy and graphic public trial. For the defense, it ensures their client will eventually be eligible for parole, even if it is many years in the future. Given the overwhelming evidence, it was likely the best possible outcome to avoid dying in prison. Sentencing. As part of the plea deal, the judge sentenced Brian Walshe to the following consecutive terms: life in prison for second-degree murder, with eligibility for parole after 15 years. Additional years for the other charges, which will run concurrently and consecutively, effectively ensuring he will serve a lengthy sentence before even being considered for parole. Summary. In essence, Brian Walshe's guilty plea is an admission that he intentionally killed his wife, Anna, but without the premeditation and extreme atrocity or cruelty required for a first-degree murder conviction. It is a legal resolution that provides a definitive conclusion to a horrific case while offering a slim chance of freedom for Walshe decades in the future, a prospect that would have been impossible had he been convicted at trial.